Eric Bakker, thanks for coming back. The question I often get asked by people is what can they do when they get cravings or real strong desires for different kinds of foods. So I've got a few questions here. I really crave bread and potatoes. I love chips, I love fries. What can I do? Help me please to stop my cravings. So if you've got a strong craving for these kinds of foods, there could be several things going on. The first thing you identify is, does the food that you crave contain a lot of sweet or a lot of salt? Okay. Now fries or chips contain salt. So if you're a chippy or a fry kind of person, if you really strongly have a craving for pretzels or salted peanuts or stuff like this, it could mean a couple of different things. One thing is, the first thing I'd want to know is, are you drinking enough water? The second, you're probably not. And the second thing is, are you calcium deficient? And the third thing is, do you have issues with adrenal fatigue or adrenal problems? So let's go through a few of those scenarios. Water has a very big regulatory effect on the gut. It helps the body immensely to improve digestion. It helps a lot with the movement of food through the body and appetite regulation and control. Water's been shown also to work with serotonin release and production. It works with various hormones that help to regulate appetite. So just by drinking a few glasses of water regularly throughout the day, particularly if you've got carb cravings, I find has a tremendous effect on backing off on those carb cravings. A lot of people who love breads and cookies and cakes and muffins often will have coffee or will have beverages also that contain sugar. They become dehydrated. They don't have enough water in their diet. They're not hydrated enough. Next time you go for a pee, have a look at the color of the urine. It should be a relatively clear color. If it's dark or strong smelling, you're probably dehydrated. The second part is the calcium deficiency. So especially with if you crave fries and chips and things like that, calcium deficiency is quite common with many people. So by increasing the kind of foods you've got in your diet that contain calcium, it can help tremendously for you not to want to eat those foods. So, you know, by looking at high calcium foods, I've had sometimes people say to me, once they started to drink more natural cow's milk that was unpasteurized, they noticed they didn't really want to have fries or chips or bread anymore. So, but the calcium connection is very real. A long time ago, people had adequate amounts of magnesium and calcium in their diet because they got these from whole foods, from grains. The milling process and the production of grains was different. The soils were better quality. We weren't using fertilizers that were stripping macro minerals from the kind of foods that we're eating. So people had large amounts, thousands of milligrams of calcium magnesium per day in their diet. Today people lack those minerals, so they get all sorts of weird cravings and desires for fake foods. Isn't that word fake come up a lot since Trump's been around? So fake food. So when you eat real foods, you won't want fake foods anymore. All right. So what foods contain calcium? Well, Google will tell you that. Sesame seeds. Who eats sesame seeds? Nobody anymore. When I get my new kitchen, I'm going to show you guys how to make gabashio. So roasted sesame seeds with sea salt. It's a really cool thing to add on top of steamed broccoli, which contains a lot of calcium. So broccoli contains calcium. Sesame seeds contain calcium. If you eat sardines, for example, with the little bones in it, loads of calcium. There are many calcium sources you can add to your diet. Look it up on Google, highest calcium containing foods, and then come back and tell me if you still crave these kind of foods. The third component is adrenal fatigue. So many people today have problems with stress, okay? Stress. Now stress induces a problem because it causes a lot of pressure and stress on the adrenal glands and also on thyroid, but especially the adrenals. Now the adrenals make a hormone called aldosterone, which regulates potassium and sodium in the body. So many people have an issue with aldosterone. I'm not saying it's not working, but I'm saying it's on a low ebb. So people excrete too much sodium from their, they excrete it, they pee it out basically, they poop it out. They don't have enough. They sweat it out as well, so they don't have enough sodium really in their body. And then they become craving salt. So salt deficiency or salt craving is very real with many people. So it's not so much they don't have enough salt in their diet. In fact, they have too much, but they excrete a lot of sodium. And that can create weakness and dizziness and tiredness and low blood pressure and faintness. And when you get the potassium-sodium imbalance, you get muscle weakness. You get sort of like weak muscles and unsteady on your feet a little bit, and all sorts of problems can happen. You can get cardiac dysregulation, you can get a little bit of flutters or palpitations or weird sensations in the heart. These are all common with adrenal fatigue. So if you can relate to any of that kind of stuff, the morning fatigue, the tiredness, you really like pretzels, or you're hunting for salt in the bottom of packets of chips, for example, or you're licking salt off things, or you're adding salt on foods, you need to check the adrenal glands out. If you've got low blood pressure and you crave salt, go and see somebody about adrenal fatigue treatment, especially if you're a tired kind of person. So I hope that answers that question on what to do to stop the cravings. Okay, fix the deficiencies, correct the stress. Thanks for tuning in.